Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is SC Anemone, and today I'll be doing a bit more of a procast. I am gonna favor a day 9 style somewhat, and I will be mostly focusing on the Protoss, as I'm a Protoss player, and I'd just like to help advance the metagame for my other Protoss brethren out there. And we'll analyze Nick's NVXIAOT. Wow, that's going to be a tough one to pronounce. I'm going to move over to the Zerg and think on that one for a second. Over here we have Liquid Heypro, member of the Liquid team, very highly ranked. And I got this replay on sc2rep.net. I have not seen this replay yet. I have no idea of the results, and as I mentioned, I'll be focusing on the Protoss play. As we see right off the bat, the pylon's being placed by the ramp here. However, he leaves enough room right here to make a 1-unit wall, which is very Gosu, and all the top players are doing that, especially against, or well, primarily and only against Zerg, as both Terran and Protoss primarily attack you with range units, nullifying the use of such a tactic. However, Zergling all in can be quite destructive. The Protoss here is getting in place to block any expansions in case Liquid Heypro intends to do a 14 hatch. The probe off of 9 will be able to get there in time. We do see him starting his gateway now. Throw the production tab on. I might even throw it into his view only. We'll jump back to the Zerg later. So we're now blocking. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws a pylon down. I really prefer to do that once the probe... There he goes. Once the probe's lost his shield, you can throw the pylon down. Let's follow him in. Let's see what he sees. Meanwhile, he is getting his assimilator. It's actually just completing now. And he does see the Zerg going pool, then gas. So he knows there will be a brief window before speed can be researched for the Zerglings. So it looks like the Zerg is still favoring expanding fast, and we'll probably want to take that pylon down. Meanwhile, the probe is still back there working on the pylon. And we do see the assimilator back at base, and, sorry, the second assimilator and the cybernetics core back at base. Hasn't built that zealot yet because he knows that there are no Zerglings to worry about yet. So just really focusing on economy, doesn't need the army yet. Cutting the corners he knows he can get away with. Now the Zerg is making 4 Zerglings and a drone. However, he only saw that 3 eggs did go into production, so it could be anything from 2 drones, 2 Zerglings, to all 6 Zerglings. So he has started his Stalker. That will be able to both attack the Overlord and also block the ramp. The Zerglings get down here and manage to take out the probe, and it looks like his opponent will be able to hatch now. However, he has no idea whether he does that or if he fakes out. Supply block back at home. Often that happens after your pylon does go down. So if you can look ahead and get that pylon up, as it's when the shield goes down about, would be a pretty good time to get that. And he is moving out with this 1 Stalker. He is safe to do that, as he knows that Zergling's speed is a ways away from being complete. As we see, it's only halfway done, so he has about 50 seconds. He can poke in there and poke back. This will allow him to know whether or not his opponent has expanded, which is absolutely critical. Meanwhile, he has just gotten a Stargate, and he is going for Void Ray, which is not a bad choice on this map at all, especially since he knows the gas is late. Also being able to assume from that there will not be any early Hydralisk, as there won't be a layer, or Mutalisk, but the Hydra Den goes up so much faster. However, there might be a couple of queens to deal with. So let's check this Void Ray out. It's always interesting to see if the Protoss chooses to move out with the first Void Ray or the second Void Ray. He will be expanding with only 2 ground units to his name and 1 Void Ray, and the Void Ray comes out immediately to take out this Overlord. Very interesting play. And the Zerg is reacting by double queening. So this looks like it may very well be a defensive Void Ray, simply to help hold this expansion. However, he will most likely be forced to cancel this right here, as the Zerglings would have taken it out before the Void Ray had any chance to do anything effective. More gateways going up, so he looks like he's just trying to force a reaction from his opponent and then get his expansion up. I wouldn't be surprised if this probe's going right back there to plant that Nexus down again. And there it is. Void Ray's looking for some more Overlords. However, the Zerglings will be back soon, so he should bring that Void Ray back to help defend. He does have a couple of sentries here, though. And with some good wall-offs, he should be fine. Hasn't put any pressure on with the Void Ray, just putting the fear of the Void Ray, as Day9 would say about the fear of the Banshee, into his opponent here. The force fields were a little slow there, and it looks like these Zerglings are going to run into his base, which will potentially cause quite a bit of damage. He is favoring some worker fighting, which can be very effective if microed really well. As you see, those Zerglings don't last long against the workers. If we look at the income tab, he is actually falling a little bit behind, but not horrendously far behind, as drones can be powered a lot harder. Back on production, we do see a Dark Shrine. So he got his Twilight Council and he threw up the Dark Shrine. The Twilight Council would have been spotted by the Zerg when the Zergling were in the base. However, the Dark Shrine should come as a bit of a surprise. However, good Zerg will get that Overseer blind once he sees a Twilight Council. It's just good form, good play. He should be spreading these Zerglings out, or Zealots out. He could make a wall of units, protecting from any more Zergling run-bys, which is a very solid move to do in this situation here. And he will be moving his Void Ray out to do some scouting. I like that because he really wants to know if the Zerg is getting his third. It's about 9 minutes into the game, and that's really when you got to worry about that third going up. Roach Warren. Should be a couple of queens here, however, with quite a bit of energy for Transfuse. I'm surprised we don't see the creep tumors spread out further, as he did make 2 additional queens earlier to deal with any of the Void Ray shenanigans. Also, we do see Hallucinate being upgraded here on the Twilight Council. Zerglings try to get another run by, and DTs are doing the slow walk across the map here. Doubtful if they've been spotted, and I don't believe there is any detection up for the Zerg player. Back at Protoss base, yeah, he did get that Overseer blind, and he will clean up these DTs without any losses, which is very painful for the Protoss, morphing the Archon, just buying him some time before the army can retaliate and push back against them, as he really doesn't have the forces to deal with it yet. He is getting +1 attack, and still no further use of that starport. Hallucinate is complete now. He might get the Phoenix to scout around, but he might just be saving Hallucinate to soak up some damage in any impending battles. But there it is, the Phoenix does come out, and he will make sure that the Zerg is not coming through the rocks or anything silly like that. So he does scout that off nice and early, which will help him deal with it. Again, I would really like to see better creep spread from the Zerg here, but this is Protoss tutorial replay, so the Phoenix is getting so much information here, and we see an additional 3 gateways going up for Protoss. With that +1 attack, he should be able to fend off these roaches. It will all come down to the quality of the force fields he lays down and the Void Ray down here, as there's not very much anti-air in the way for the Zerg pieces. Another hallucinated Phoenix scouting out, and the Void Ray does meet a queen on the battlefield and chooses to retreat, as there are more queens in the Zerg force. And that is quite a few roaches. If we look at the army tab, Zerg is actually ahead by about 60 supply. So actually, I might retract that and say Protoss is in a lot of trouble if he can't hold this right here. And the force fields will be, as I mentioned, just absolutely imperative if he has any chance of living. This Forge has already taken a lot of damage, and it's only taken about 3 volleys from the army, and will go down now very quickly, opening up the attack path for Zerg even more. The Void Ray does get its charge, and since it's off creep, the Queen is not all that effective. Should not be losing the charge on that Void Ray there. These rocks do go down very quickly, and he is forced to recharge his Void Rays. Would be able to take these Queens out if he got those Void Rays charged up, but he is losing, and he is getting double Robo to produce some Immortals to deal with this incredible Roach count. But the Roaches go right in for the kill into the main base. This will probably spell GG, as it looks like Zerg has, or Protoss has no real answer for this. I really think what really set our Protoss player back was losing his fast expansion. He should have had the Void Ray sitting there, or more ground units before he took the expansion. Because once you lose that, you're actually just so far behind, and he does GG out here. Pretty good game. I'd like to have seen the Protoss pieces take the victory, but hope you enjoyed the cast, and I'll hopefully do some more Procast with Protoss being the main focus of the day. All in all, I liked his build, but I really would have liked to have seen just a few more units before the expansion goes up, as better safe than sorry. I know that sounds kind of silly, and in matchups like PvT, you can really get away with putting up the expansion off one gateway before you really get production up. I mean, just constantly producing out of one gateway is enough to fend off that first push, and then you should be able to have 3 warp gates plus a robo for any additional pushes from the Terran. But in this matchup, with the potential for Zerglings, as you saw, you do need a couple of Zealots, maybe some Sentries, maybe a couple of Pylons to help tighten up this choke, and then you can take the expansion quite safely. But yeah, no reward without any risk, eh? So thanks for listening. This is SC and Enemy, and I am out.